Tim Bits with Tim Gard.
Hey, everybody. Belong. When I first started out, I was all alone. I was a Fed with USDA Food and Nutrition Service. I got to be known as the funny Fed, which is kind of an oxymoron. But I was out doing this all on my own, and I met Scott Friedman, who introduced me to National Speakers Association, and I joined. Now, joining and belonging are two very different things. I joined NSA. I didn't belong until I gave something back. Joining and belonging are two different things. And what I started finding out as I got more and more into NSA, that there was GSF, and there's PSA, and there's CAPS, and there's all these different acronyms that are out there. But what happened was, I suddenly became a part of them, not when I joined, but when I gave. And this is the essence of belonging to me. And so all these, I know people all over the world. I have friends in this room I've known for 20, 25 years. And yet I've only been around them 1 hour a year. I've really only known some of them for a couple days, really. But I trust them with my life because we belong. And after doing this for around 20 years, 22 years, I was having one of my best years ever. I was on my way to do 100 events. This is how I used to measure success. Amount of fee, number of events done. I'm standing on stage in Las Vegas. I'm having one of my best years. I had 3 days off till my next event, and I came off stage, and I realized that I'm not going to be on stage for 3 more days, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And I asked myself, do I only exist on stage? That's not success. And I changed my priorities, and I started realizing I had to give back more. And that what I needed to do was to understand that it wasn't about me, it's about the audience, it's about my friends, it's about how much I give. And the number, I reduced the number of events that I did because I wasn't booked. It's a very clever strategy. But one of my friends said, Tim, if you ever want to really get remarried, you need to slow down. It's hard to hit a moving target. And so as I slowed down, I found that it became easy. I finally began to meet more people. I went out. I became back the Tim that was before, the gregarious Tim that belonged, and I met Sophia. Where's my wife, Sophia? Stand up, Sophia, honey. All the way back there. I came here today to introduce my wife to my family of CAPS because I belong. For a short time, I get to be here. One of the things I think is the most important to think about is that in math, the whole is the sum of the parts. And yet with CAPS, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And when you think about it together, we're stronger and we are better. One of the things that happened to me that really put this into perspective was I flew to Australia, I was speaking there, and along the way, one of my events got canceled, and David Price, who is up in Perth, said, if you ever have a few minutes, we'd like to have you come up and speak. Well, I didn't know that Perth is as far away where I was. It's like flying to Antarctica from here. And 5 hours later, I ended up there. My plane was late. We got to the hotel. I played my major credit card with the people at the counter. We laughed. And the next day, he showed up, and I said to him, what happened, David? And he said, strange thing last night. He said, I dropped you off, and he said, on the way home, I stopped, and I can say this in Canada, I stopped to take a pee at this little park, and he said, you won't believe what happened. And I thought, oh, no, he's been arrested. And no. He stopped. He'd opened the car door, and when he did, a woman running at a full run, being chased by a man with a knife and a baby in her arms. He was trying to kill her. He was going to kill her. He was going to take the baby and go to China. He had tickets with him, and the plan was in this park in the middle of the night, this is what was going to happen. He stopped. He opened the door. She jumped in the car. This was like you couldn't choreograph it. Closed the door, took off. He literally hit the car before they took off. They arrested him, saved her life. Everybody's fine. And he said, what a coincidence. And I said to him, this is no coincidence, David. I said, had you not stayed to watch me play with the people at the counter with the major credit card, this would not have happened. You would have been early. You would have missed her. I said, had my plane not been late, you would not have been there in time to save her life. I said, had my client not canceled the event suddenly, I would not have had time to go to Antarctica or wherever. I would not have been here. Do you understand this? And I said, had I not met you 15 years ago in Melbourne at a conference and offered to do this for you, this would not have happened. Had I not been on stage in high school in 1972 at the Ormond McGill Magic Show and realized, kind of like this stuff up here, this would not have happened. We belong to a global organization where things happen like this every single day. I belong to an organization that Orlando belongs to, that David belongs to, that Leslie belongs to, that all my friends belong to. And this becomes the definition of magic. When the whole is more than the sum of the parts. I belong. We belong.